baby, that's right. Episode 248, and everything is great here on the review, guys.
It's like this and like that and like this and
Because you were
hey, episode
right.
248. Welcome back to the JB and Benny Blue Review. I'm your boy JB. That's your guy Benny Blue, and you know how we do. You know what I'm saying? If it's your first time with us, we appreciate you. If you are returning, we appreciate your loyalty. We love you for that. You already know that. Check us out on all social media platforms at JB and Benny Blue. That's everything. I ain't got to just spit them all out there. But on YouTube, subscribe. And on iTunes, we need 5 stars. You know what I'm saying? Or is that right? Yeah, that's how it goes, right? That's how it goes. Our own personal Instagrams is going to be at 73KingJB73. And, of course, at Benny Blue Eyes like it's always been. Get at us, man. We get back at you, you know what I'm saying? And we also have a TikTok, right? We ain't doing no dances on there. We ain't, you know what I'm saying? You ain't going to catch us on there doing the latest TikTok dance. We ain't Juju Smith-Schuster out here in these streets. But it is JB and Benny Blue, all right?
Yes.
Same shit it always been. Catch us on out here in the desert. Casualsports.com, live streaming all the time. Shout out to the whole crew, man. You know what I'm saying? Earl, you know what I'm saying? Javon, you know what I'm saying? Sean, you saying we still ain't found APB. We still trying to find Sean. Still trying to find Sean. Pray everything's all right with your buddy. Miss you. Of course, you know what I'm saying? We got a link over to the Super Bowl. You still want to hear this beautiful voice? Shit. You know what I mean? This is how we talk. You know what I'm saying? You want to hear that real talk and only that real talk? $1 damn do that for you. Patreon.com/JB and Benty Blue. All right. That's right. We don't know, Mitch, what's going on with Sean. Money making Mitch wants to know what's going on with Sean. Right. We all want to know. So hit us up, bro. Hopefully, if you're watching this live stream tonight, man, shoot us a comment. Let us know you're all right, big fella. We miss you, man.
Please do.
Hate mail, love mail. We don't give a fuck. All right. JB and Benny Blue Review at gmail.com. That's how you get us. You know what I'm saying? If you think you dope, you got some shit to offer. You know what I'm saying? Hit us up, man. We'll be the judge of that. You got new music, let us know. You know what I'm saying? We will play that shit, and we will judge it. Not out of malice, out of hate, not trying to be funny. We ain't one of them. We real. No. So when we give you the love, the review, we want to make sure that it's that critiquing that's going to help you test that next level. All right? That's how we do that, man. You know what I'm saying? Hey, you like clothing? You know what I'm saying? You like clothes? I like clothes. You like clothes? All right. The Valley Boys Association. All right. Boys doing all right, man. Association.com. Yes. Use promo code podcast22 for 20% off your final checkout. Again, ValleyBoysAssociation.com, podcast22 for 20% off your checkout. You want a whip? You need a new car? All right, it's timtobuy.com. Pre-owned, new, it don't matter. Text review to 515-444-003 at timtobuy on Instagram. Check out real live people holding up the belt, meaning they won a championship. They got the new whip, best price, best APR, best every damn thing.
Yeah, best APR.
Thanks to our guy. You know what I'm saying? It's Tim to Buy. And hit him up on it's timtobuy.com. Benny, how we doing? All right. Coming up, AFC, NFC, you know what time it is. Tom Brady just retired. Or did he? Sean Payton, you know what I'm saying? We know what happened, you know what I'm saying? NFL, we got, you know what I'm saying? All that, right? We got a Fantasy Football League winner. He's here with us right now. 3-time, right?
Ooh.
Oh, he ain't going to want to miss this, man. Something wrong. This kid got a crystal ball or something.
Something like that. HGH testing. We got to do something, man. We got to check this guy out, bro.
We got to do it. We told him in our patent production meeting that we're just going to start sending in a random drug test to his home 3 times a season, just to make sure, you know what I'm saying, that he ain't doing something, you know, this unfair advantage, you know what I'm saying, whatever, you know, it's giving him that edge. Mm-hmm. But the young man is doing his thing when it comes to fantasy football. He's got an eye for it. We love to hear. We love to see it, man. So episode 248, Benny, what's going on in La La Land, man?
Hey man, it's good. You know, a little chilly. Football season's winding down. It's been wild, man. You know, hey, it's been a hell of a season. Lots to talk about. What's happening out there in the desert? Sirens, clearly.
Pure buffoonery. Sirens, pure buffoonery, sir. Pure buffoonery. The Super Bowl and everything in its entirety is in full effect. Man, it's getting crazier and crazier out here by the second. The stadium has been decorated. It's beautiful. You know what I'm saying, as it always is, but now it's decorated in Super Bowl. What number Super Bowl is this?
This is LVII. So that's 50. Is that 52? LVII? You tell us in the comments.
52, right? Yeah. Yeah. So 52.
Tell us what number that is.
So the V and the 2, yeah. I'm 57. See, Mitch, right? Making money, making Mitch. Super Bowl 57.
Yeah,
I know the V's are 5. Right, yeah, right.
Public school, goddammit. Yeah. Public school.
Well, you know, hey, it's that same here. Anyway, go. Super Bowl 57. This shit is beautiful out here, man. Coming around the corner, man. The stage is set. So we'll talk a little more about that later.
Yeah, well, listen, man, if you're tapping in on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, or Instagram, please drop in a comment or a question, and I promise we will get to that shit. But without further ado, Dr. Bridges, you alluded to it, and we talked about it in our patent production meeting. We just talked about it here just a second ago. Sometimes you got to recognize greatness, and JB, this is becoming a regular thing with this young man, apparently. He is a linebacker and long snapper out of the Sierra College, the Fighting Wolverines. He's a co-host with Fourth and Long.
He's a
Wolvie. And he's a three-time for the people, NFL.com fantasy football league winner in 2018, 2021, and 2022, just beating out your brother, Quincy, in the championship game with a record of 10-5. He is our guy. He's back for the second straight year. Give it up right now for the man, the myth, the legend, one Jalen Johnson, the manager of the People's Champ. Young fella, what is going on? Welcome back to the review.
What's going on, y'all? I'm happy to be back. It's becoming a normal thing.
Yes, it has. It has become a normal thing. So I just really want to know, right?
It has become, it takes a normal thing.
All right, it takes a lot of time, you know what I'm saying, to devote to fantasy football, right? Because you have to stay on top of things, injury reports, right? Yards, every game, you know, so the people that you're dealing with that are on your team, kickers, of course, you know, so always a pain in the ass, and then defenses, right? So how much time do you devote weekly to your fantasy football, bro? You know what I'm saying? Your managing of your team.
Like 30 minutes before kickoff on Sunday.
That's it?
Yeah, that's about it. And then like when I know I got injuries, probably like a little bit on Tuesday when the waiver wire cuts off, like 30 minutes. But probably like an hour a week.
See, you heard that, Benny, right? When the waiver wire cuts off, see that shit that a good GM is gonna know, right?
Yeah.
I don't be thinking about none of that shit.
Hey, whatever it is, JB, the strategy's working. So, Jalen, you're back for the second straight year. You are the three-time champion.
Second straight, yeah.
You know, with a record of 10-5. Go ahead, good sir, and take your victory lap. Give the speech. Thank who you want to thank. The floor is yours, sir.
Thank you, man. You know, this year started off rough with the injuries. It was just one after another. 6 people on my injury reserve at one point. It got pretty bad. I thought it was a year over. Going into like week 7, I thought it was over. I'm not gonna lie to you. It turned around. You know, I thank the rest of my players for not getting hurt. I thank Christian McCaffrey for not going out with another season-ending injury while he's on my team. I've had that a couple of times. Shout out to him. Yeah, man, it was a solid year. I had to use all my waiver wire transactions this year, all 10. I tried not to. I was trying to prove a point by not doing it, but I had to. I had to use all 10. I moved everything from quarterbacks to receivers to kickers to defensive players. Everybody was interchangeable this season, and it just happened to work out, you know? So good luck to everybody else again next year, because I'll be back again, you know? So, yeah.
Man, you hear that, JB? Next man up mentality. This man was going to the waiver wire. He's picking up Shane Falco from the replacements. He was getting everybody to try to get the dub.
You got to do what you got to do. You know what I'm saying? You got to do what you got to do. You play to win the game. Shout out to Coach Herman.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Outstanding.
Now look, let you know. All right, we got fantasy covered. Clearly, you got the remedy for getting it done. But the reviewers who remember our interview with you last year remember that 2022 season, man. It looks like you guys were 6-5, 2-3. The conference was kind of looking over the schedule. Got some big wins, including one over Frisco, which I'm sure felt good. But how did it feel sophomore season? If I'm not mistaken, how did it feel being strapping up again? Your freshman season, that's right. Because eligibility. Got it.
Great shirt. Yep. Mm-hmm.
But talk to the reviewers about the 2022 season for your squad and what you felt like you did well, not only as a team but for yourself going into next year.
We started off real strong. I mean, we lost against the team who ended up winning the state championship in week 1, and then we ended up going like a 5-game win streak. We ended up losing both our starting and backup quarterback in like a 3-week span. And so we were down to our 3rd string guy, and it kind of went downhill from there. he did his best. But when you end up getting that low, it's a lot harder to do in real life than it is to do in fantasy football. So we ended up going 6-5 after starting 6-1. So it was tough, but it was kind of just we started dropping like flies after a certain point. It was a rough season, but I'm confident going into this year that we have a good group of guys to go longer in the season than we did last year.
Yeah, health is key, when it comes to football, man. So without a doubt, how'd you play in particular as an individual? How do you feel like you played this year?
I did all right. My play time was limited coming back from the cancer and stuff like that. It was obviously they weren't going to just throw me in there to play every single down like I would like to. I ended up picking up long snapping just to begin the season, just trying to be a utility guy for the team. I ended up falling in love with it, meeting a lot of good people in the specialist world. And I'm loving long snapping, looking like I'm going to be the starting long snapper going to this season and working my way up the rotation at linebacker for this season. So I'm looking forward to it.
Well, let me tell you something about long snapping, man. It'll get you paid for a long time in the NFL, sir. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, it does.
And Canada, you know what I'm saying? It don't matter. It'll get you paid for a long time in professional football. So keep doing that, man. That's something I used to encourage some of my young boys to do, man. You know what I'm saying? So without a doubt. So, yeah, man, you know what I'm saying? Just stay focused. Of course, have a great offseason, you know what I'm saying?
Yes,
lifting, taking, make sure you're eating properly. And, I know what you're doing is on that field. So continue to work your way up the ladder, man. It's good to hear.
By the way, JB, not for nothing, and Jalen, you can tell me how accurate this is because I know team sites can be a little bit off depending on how they update. They have you listed at 5. Am I crazy or is this 5'11", 246? Is that?
No, that's where I'm at. Yeah.
That's where you're at. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. You swole up again.
Boy, swole.
Yes, sir. I swelled up again.
He's swole out here in these streets. He's swole.
Yeah, I'm back up to good weight now.
Yeah, like a young Harrison out here.
That's the plan.
If you like it, we love it. I mean, just taking a look just at the squad in general. Like you say, talked about that initial loss, and then obviously in the Gridiron Bowl to end the season. But you guys, looks like you guys were 3-1 at home, and also 1-0 on neutral site. And like you said, I mean, the injuries happen, and it is great to hear that you actually found a role that not only you can contribute, but you actually enjoy it. Now, kind of recapping kind of what we had talked about, last year, obviously we spent a lot of time talking about kind of where you're at from COVID, coming out of COVID, and not only dealing with that, but also dealing with beating cancer. So I think the reviewers definitely want to know, man, like currently where are you at health-wise, and how has that kind of affected your life this past year, since fighting the fight and winning, man?
I've been good, man. It's at that time of year right now where I'm kind of going through all of my you have to go do yearly checkups after you finish cancer for like 5 years. A lot of people don't know about that. But for like 5 years after you beat cancer, you have to kind of go through checkups and a bunch of scans and stuff like that. So I kind of hate doing those, but it's kind of been like that for like the past like month or two. A lot of checkups, everything's been coming back clear though. Blood has been all good. All my blood labs have been good. My leg fracture had healed up that I ended up having from the last season. So that was doing pretty good. And I feel better. I feel good at the place I'm at, and I'm getting better. We just started off season training for football, so getting back into that and feeling great about that. Even though it's real tiring, and especially at the JUCO level, you're not getting paid to do any of this. You don't really get any praise to do any of this, but it's a hard game. But you gotta love it, and I love it.
Well, listen, man, let me tell you something about it. You got to work no matter what level you're on, right? Because hard work pays off. So you continue to do that because, of course, you are getting towards, to the next level. And the hard work is going to pay off, man. You're going to have a hell of a story to tell, when you on that Division I campus doing your thug thizzle, bro.
Yes, I will.
By the way, JB, not for nothing, the way Jalen's killing it fantasy football, what do we got to do to get it with an L? FanDuel? DraftKings, former sponsor of the show, by the way. Hey, cash the man out.
Hey, remember us?
He's doing
right.
Hey.
Remember us, FanDuel?
Right. FanDuel, my bookie. Someone's got a bag for him.
Somebody.
Yes, my bookie.
Someone's
my bookie.
Well, look, Jalen. Yes. Hey, listen, Jalen. first and foremost, I mean, obviously, like you had talked about battling back from injury from last year, and obviously what you're dealing back before that. So, if nothing else, man, we're happy. It just makes us smile that things are good and the checks are clear, and you're back to doing what you love doing. And JB alluded to the next level, and not only with D1, but obviously you got so many other professional leagues popping up.
Yeah.
So just like being in your grind and watching the 2022 season, what was your overall thoughts about this past football season, just being as a fan? And then of course we got to get your pick for Super Bowl. Who you got, Chiefs or Eagles? Right now the line is 1.5 for the Eagles. So maybe Vegas knows something.
We'll talk about that in a second.
Yeah. This season, I felt like for the NFL, this was like, especially for fans, I feel like with all the injuries and stuff that kind of happened, I feel like it was kind of like, it kind of showed what football is. I feel like it's kind of like a lot of people, you kind of talk bad about players and stuff like that, and what you don't know what they're going through. But like with a lot of the big injuries that happened this year and the concussions and stuff that was happening, I feel like a lot of people starting to realize what football players really go through, and starting to really cherish the players that they have and the organizations that they follow. So that was honestly good to see. I mean, obviously the injuries aren't the best to see. You don't want to see that, but the reception from fans to see the reaction from them when players are going through this stuff, I feel like this season was probably one of the better halves. So a lot of time you got to see a lot of players, other than like the Lamar Jackson situation, a lot of fans are like, oh, he's faking. He doesn't want to be back. He doesn't want to be here. But this year you kind of saw a lot more fans like, okay, get back when you can. Seeing them as a person, not just a player. And so I liked seeing that. And also it's just obviously the football side of it. Some great games this season. Love watching it. Obviously my team, the Cardinals, didn't do so hot. It's time for a regime change. It's about time. And I'm looking forward to it. For the Super Bowl, I got the Eagles winning it. I got the Eagles winning it.
Fly.
I'm looking like 31-24 for the Eagles. 31-24 for the Eagles. That's what I got it at right now.
Nice. We like that. I like that, young man. Very intelligent young man here. Reviewers, again, our 3-time champion of our For the People Football League, Fantasy Football League. Mr. Jalen, pump your shit, son. You know what I'm saying? Pump it. Social media. We know you got your own podcast, please, all that shit. You know what I'm saying? Hey, pump it.
Yep.
No, so hey, man. Second place.
Second place. Look, in rare form with the Chiefs emblems all over his avatar. Yeah, we see you. You know what I'm saying? We know who you rooting for. You know my brother's been a Chiefs fan as long as I've been alive. You know what I'm saying? He's one
all right, man.
I admire the Chiefs, but yeah, man.
I'm looking forward to another fantasy football season with everybody. Whoever's not in the league can get in the league. Second place is always wide open. It's all right. It's always fun to play. I'm gonna do exactly what I do every single year. I'm gonna draft and make the changes I need to make. Hey, and you guys just gotta keep up. It's all right. Second place isn't that bad.
Right. Exactly. They got trophies for that nowadays, right?
They do. They got participation trophies for everybody nowadays.
Oh my God! We don't want no damn participation trophy. Come on, Jason.
That would be for us, man. Really, that for us because we finished like 6th place and shit.
Hey, it's all right. I had to sit back after I won my first one. I had to wait 2 years and watch. I had to do my Stephon Diggs and just look while the confetti dropped for 2 other people.
No.
The Joe Burrow this time.
Well, yeah,
the Joe Burrow. Well, JB, as you know, for joining the league here with us, that means you get a prize. Quincy's talking shit again. Quincy says, "Whatever, I'll be back." Yeah, you know, say I told you, second place is wide open, so we'll see about that. But for the second straight year, Dr. Bridges, as you know, the reviewers, if you win our league, you get a $500 donation to a charity of your choice. Mm-hmm. For the second straight year, we will be donating to Jalen's charity of choice. But as an additional bonus, Dr. Bridges, for being the 3-time dynasty, he's also getting a $50 gift card to his spot, Chipotle, and a $500 donation to the Bite Me Cancer Foundation. Jalen, just as you did last year, this year, tell the people about why the Bite Me Cancer Foundation is so important to you, good sir.
Yeah, it's an important organization for me. When I first went into treatment, there's not a lot of young adults around my age at the time that were also going through it. So you kind of feel alone. And in my first week there, I got a package from a random foundation called Bite Me Cancer. And they really provide for young kids and young adults who kind of feel alone in the cancer process. And they give you like a goodie bag, stuff to do. They're also very they're in it with talking to patients and stuff like that. Like if you email them, it's a personal message. It's not just like some random robotic automated message. And they really made me feel like I was still normal. So love that company for what they did for me and what they've continued to do for me since I finished beating cancer.
Cool. Now, have you started like to become like one of the poster children, you know what I'm saying, for this? Because I mean, you know, like you said, it's not a lot of young people your age, you know what I'm saying, that are affected by, especially the type of cancer you had. So are you doing like some collab work with them, you know what I'm saying, doing some speaking events? Is that stuff in the making or?
Yeah, I'm working on starting to work with specifically like the hospital that I was going through treatment at. Starting to talk to young adults. Sometimes they contact me about talking to other young adults who are starting to go through it, don't really have anybody around them. Kind of in my community, people who have friends and friends for family members and stuff like that who are getting cancer and kind of don't know how to go about it and how to keep their mindset right. Their friends and families and even cancer patients themselves have been contacting me to kind of get my ideas on it, what I did to get through it and stuff like that. So I try to help out in any way I can with the cancer stuff and just basic life stuff because cancer kind of puts a hold on your life and the world keeps moving. So you got to sprint to catch back up, and I try to help out.
Without a doubt, man. It's awesome stuff, man.
Yep. Yeah, well, listen, bro. You caught up, and then some. We're happy to support them because they support you, and that Chipotle gift card will be hitting your email in about 3 minutes. So you can that'll be the champagne of victory for you as you enjoy your third win in our NFL.com for the People Fantasy Football League. And before you get out, plug your socials, plug who you got coming up, all that good stuff.
Yeah, man. Go ahead and follow the Fourth and Long podcast. We're kind of been on a hiatus right now, just with my co-host is getting married pretty soon, so shout out to him. Yeah, man, we're becoming adults, man. We started this when we were coming out of high school, and we're adults now, man. So we're working out all the details with the podcast. That's the Fourth and Long Media on Instagram and Twitter. I'm J340 on Twitter. The Notorious Jay on Twitter. Man, I'm excited with going forward playing football. I love playing it. All the coaches that I've been talking to, love talking to you guys. I'm going to play this football thing out for a long time, be the GOAT in something, and then I'm going to have to come back and coach in real life instead of fantasy football at some point.
There you go. You got a lot of knowledge to give, young man. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
we appreciate you. We appreciate you.
That is our guy. We appreciate you. That is like we'll be back. So be sure to check out our socials for everything he's got going on as well. Bite Me Cancer Foundation. Yes, Jalen, enjoy the Chipotle. We love you.
I'll see you guys again next year.
Yes, indeed. That is our guy. Yeah, he's already called it out, JB.
He's already called. He's Babe Ruthin. Babe Ruthin.
For a fourth title, he's coming back. He's Babe Ruthin, baby. That's right. We appreciate you, sir. He's joining us, tapping in. Reviewers, that's right. If you are just tapping in, please make sure to get at our sponsors, Valley Boys Association Clothing. All right. Use that code podcast22. Podcast 22 for 20% off.
Shout out to
checkout.
Grinded.
You know they get
shout out to Grinded Barrier Clothing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we out here. You know what I'm saying? My folks out of Torrance, California.
Okay.
Hey, Carson, Torrance. Yeah, it's like that. You know what I'm saying? Doing the damn thing. We appreciate you. Love y'all to death over there.
Love it. We'll tap in with them. We'll share that on our story as well. And also get our guys tunedby.com. Text review to 515-444-7003. For all sponsorships, interviews, new music, hate mail, get us JB and Benny Blue Review at gmail.com. And please make sure to follow us at JB and Benny Blue on all social media. And subscribe to our YouTube, please. We're really growing our YouTube. I love to see the subscribers going up. So most importantly, please go to the YouTube and subscribe, the content over there and all that good stuff. And as you saw Quincy falling in on the YouTube, please make sure to drop in a comment or question at any point, and we will get to that over the course of the show. All right, goddammit. We got to bring in our guy. Oh, we love this guy. He finally has internet, JB. It's a Christmas miracle. He is none other than money-making Mitchell Hughes.
The one and
baby.
only.
Claps going for Mitch as the internet connects.
The one and only. Mitch was in his feelings in our private chat. You know what I'm saying? When Jalen was going, he was like, man, this kid going to take my job. And I had to let him know, I had to let him know. There's only one Mitch. There's only one Mitch out there, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, right? In the greater northernmost part of Arizona, our guy money making Mitch.
Yeah, usually, as you guys know,
well, Mitch is here.
We have a guest on, and I'll end up like, okay, we got to move on to a new topic. I didn't say anything except this dude's taking my job, and I got to be okay with it. He's good.
Hey, look, I was honestly, Mitch, waiting on the 3-4 minute mark. Like, all right, guys, cut it off. We got all right, guys. Because that's what Mitch does. Like, you guys don't
have big stories. I can't tell them to shut up.
Right. So, guys, a reviewers, you guys, of course, can't see that when we live stream. But Mitch is always in our chat, like, all right, guys, 3 minutes. All right, speed it up. All right, wrap that shit up, B.
Hey, man. Hey, wrap it up, Box. Hey, but that's the prize you get when you win the league 3 times, man. You get to come on a show and talk your shit. So there you go. So shout out to Jalen again. But if Mitch is here, that means we got to talk some shit with a new patented edition of review reaction news. You guys like the new graphic? Yeah, that's right. Production value, bitches.
Nice.
We are back.
That's kind of nice right there. All right. Kermit the Frog here.
Let's get to it. Kermit the Frog. All right, let's get to it. All right, fellas. Tom Brady retires again. JB, you sent me a video, and I kind of actually want you to elaborate on this now. You don't actually believe that Tom Brady is done. Why is that? Explain that to the reviewers if you could.
Listen, he said this shit before. I ain't saying that I don't believe it. I'm just saying that I will fully, totally believe it, accept it when I see that he hasn't played for a whole quarter of next year's season. A quarter, again, like I said in the video, a quarter is 4 games of a season, right? So once he plays or hasn't played for an entire, and I don't mean on a roster, sitting on a bench. No, I mean once he has not suited up, right? Not been into a facility as a player for 4 games into a quarter of the season next season, I'll believe it at that point.
All right, Mitch. He recorded a video on a cloudy day morning on a Florida beach, and he nearly wept. But he said he got to the point. It was actually a year to the day when he retired last year. Do you feel that Brady is now done, or is he going to come crawling back when he sees a team is in desperate need of a quarterback, Mitchell?
He ain't done. There's no way. I'm on JB's side on this one. So here's what I think is going to happen. I'm sure JB can agree with it. I'm sure any NFL player. This has to be the worst time of year for you guys. Like, you just went through a lot of pain. You went through a lot of hardship, and now it's heartbreak. Like, you're letting the emotions get ahead of you. And let's be honest, if he retires one more time after this, he might be the Tom Brady of retiring. And that sounds like a great thing to do. So I think he's going to go and play another season somewhere else. He just broke up with his family. He's not going to play only one season after breaking up with Giselle.
Bitch, he didn't break up with his family. He broke up with his ex-wife. He can still see his kids whenever he wants to. Like, he didn't break up with his family. Like, he's still the father of those children. Like, so look, sometimes people just don't work out. You know, he can still be a father to his children. All right, Mitch. Okay, I got you.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Speaking of not working out, oh my God, I can't wait to go over this one. Sean Payton agrees to become the Broncos' new head coach. The Saints will receive a 2023 first rounder and a 2024 round pick. The first round, I think, is 29th overall, if I'm not mistaken. And they're sending a 2024 pick back to the Broncos. JB, Sean Payton was with Bidwell for like 7 hours. How come the Cards did not close the deal, man? What the hell is going on?
Somebody, and Mitch, you probably could tell me, is there a general manager in Denver, or was it still Elway?
It's not Elway. I'm looking it up.
Because they hired one last year, right? Because Elway stepped down from the position.
Yeah, I don't remember who it is. I'm looking it up.
Either way it goes, I think that they were more willing to give Sean Payton that entire staff, if you will, that entire they gave him the whole bag in a sense, right? Meaning that he can be the GM, right? He can be the head coach. He just has total control over everything he got going on, and they gave him that, right? That's what he wanted. Now, we just hired a general manager, saying that we're quite fond of, right? And I'm cool with our hire general manager wise. I even said on the show a couple of episodes ago that I feel like us hiring this guy kind of negates Sean Payton as our next head coach, because he's gonna want that responsibility, or where to want to wear that GM hat as well as the head coaching hat. That's all I can think of, because we had everything that they wanted to give, so that the Saints wanted. We had all that. So if that's pretty much the only reason why I feel that way. Both teams are ready to win, right? Both teams have great offensive nucleuses, great. Both teams have really good quarterbacks, right? Offensive line wise, we're both struggling. Defensive line wise, we need to thicken it up. So the teams are kind of very evenly matched, right? That's the determining factor right there. I feel like the Broncos are like, yeah, man, we'll give you what you want. So come on.
Yeah, Mitch, thank you for putting that in the chat. So George Patton, I forgot the guy's name, is the GM. Plus, they got the new ownership, the Walmart people coming in, and they're throwing them big B's or whatever they can pay for. So that doesn't hurt either. Now, Mitch, I mean, if you look at the overall feeling was that Sean Payton had kind of made his interviews and was going to go back to Fox. Why do you think he ultimately went to the Broncos and decided not to maybe take the Cards job or maybe a couple of these other ones that are out there?
I kind of agree with JB on this one. I think a lot of the reason at the end of the day is they probably gave him what a lot of coaches that come out of those, they give him probably some personnel power. They give him a little bit more of the GM/coach title. The GM will still be the GM, but you have to give up a little power to Sean Payton to make him happy. And the Cardinals just hired a new GM. You put in a first-year GM, and then you tell them that Sean Payton's going to help you GM after being in the league for 20 years. There's going to be such a power crisis in that move. Like, we've all been in an environment where that happens, and you're like, this person's been here for 20 years and knows what they're talking about. This person got here yesterday, and they're kind of an idiot. You're going with the 20-year-old person, or the person that's been here for 20 years, even though they don't have the title. It's a conflict of power. I completely agree with that.
But that's the thing, though. It's not like he's going to be a GM/coach with the Broncos either. So do you think it just comes down to more of like the relationships that he has with the Broncos?
So I'm kind of thinking more basketball related too, where they don't call you a GM coach, but at the end of the day, you have a lot of player personnel.
Yeah, it's true. It's more so
the title of that, but he's getting that.
Right. It's more so. Like he has a great influence on what the general manager is doing, because the general manager, if I'm not mistaken, that the Broncos have he's not a seasoned general manager. You know what I'm saying? It's probably his first, second year, right, at GM. So yeah, Sean Payton is going to have a great influence on what they're doing personnel wise and who he wants to bring in. He just doesn't wear that quote unquote GM hat
more the
force. So he don't have a big hat on. He got the little hat on.
Yeah.
Right?
not the 10 gallon, not the 10 gallon, the 7.5 gallon. I got you.
He got the derby on. You know what I mean?
Now, Dr. Bridges, speaking of another potential Cardinals candidate, well, we talked about a little bit on our social media. D'Amico Ryans going back to his former team, the Texans, on a 6-year deal. What do you think about D'Amico Ryans taking a Texans job, which has been notoriously scapegoaty, and they don't have a quarterback, but first head coaching job? Do you think it's a good fit for him?
As long as they are going to allow him to build a culture and a team, right, and not just say, hey, you better win in the next couple of years, your ass is out of here. Like that's what's happened in the last 4 years with the Texans. I'm guessing that's what they said. Right, they're like, look, we're losing fan base, we're losing great players. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got to change the culture around here. We got to make sure we can make a splash. So I'm thinking that they're going to make sure, or they've already agreed when he did the deal, that, look, man, we're going to give you a chance to develop and build what you want here, right? We're going to make sure that you bring in the players you want, right? And we're going to give you an opportunity to change this whole landscape of that is the Houston Texans. So I want to say that that's a great hire for them. They needed a young coach. They needed, like I said, they need to make that splash. They need to do something to excite their fan base, and they got it.
Mitch, what do you think? I mean, do you feel like he's going to be another guy that has to fall on the sword, or do you think he's actually going to be able to create a culture that they'll actually let him build that thing for a while?
So the last 2 years, I've said whoever gets that job is just a scapegoat until they get the next guy. I think this is their guy. I think he's put on a tighter chain than what JB is talking about. I don't think they give him full player personnel, bring in your guys, bring in this, bring in that. But I do believe that they're going to give him more of a shot than they gave the other coaches, and I'll believe that he'll at least have 3 years with them, which for a coach is kind of what you can ask for depending on what you're given. And
that's kind of all you need, though, right? Yeah, that's kind of all you need, though. Like when you say, like, especially like with college coaches, you have to give them 1 year to weed out the people that want to be there. You have to give them 2 years of recruiting, right? And that, say on that third season, that's your second recruiting class, right? Then you will see what you really got at that point. So same thing with him. I wasn't saying they're giving him full like the Sean Payton role, but they're bringing, like, especially defensively. Of course, he's a defensive guy. He's going to bring in the type of players he wants to play in his defense. Again, head coach and GMs work hand in hand, right? So GMs don't just bring in people that the head coach don't like or can't use in the system. So, yeah, he's in a good spot. If they give him that 3 years, he's going to be just fine.
And to both of your points, I mean, it's pretty telling that they gave him a 6-year deal straight from the gate. Now, we know these contracts can be written on toilet paper, but nonetheless, if he only did half of that, you got to suspect that there would be some sort of buyout attached if it was like that. So they're going to give him 6 years from the gate. That means maybe they finally kind of learned their lesson from Culley and Lovie-Smith to be like, maybe we shouldn't get a black man in there and treat him like absolute dog shit after like 1.5 seasons. Maybe we should actually give him a chance.
Exactly. And of course, we always talk about this, right? And I say it all the time. They don't stipulate coaches' pay, right? They never when they sign a coach, they be like, yeah, 6 year, $85 million. Like, no, they say a 6-year deal, right? So because them contracts are so front loaded, back loaded, incentive based, yada, yada, yada. And there is a guarantee behind that money, but they never disclose it, right? We didn't know how much Cliff had coming to him until they booed him out the door. Right, so
flew the coop to Thailand. Yeah, exactly. So shout out to D'Amico Ryans finally getting that job, well deserved. Now, Mitch, speaking of going from California to Texas, and in this case, Texas to California, no, Kellen Moore is agreed to see, but there's difference of opinion in terms of how he exited. So, Mitch, do you feel that he was more fired by the Cowboys, or was it a mutual parting of ways? He just needed to change of scenery. What do you think really happened there? In Big D,
just like in a relationship, it's just like in sports. There's no such thing as a mutual breakup. All mutual means is you didn't kill each other and you lost. That is what mutual means. You lost the battle and you didn't kill her. That's it.
I'm gonna top that though, Mitch, because you made a great point. You're right, but it's just like this, right? When white coaches get fired, they mutually agree to part ways. When black coaches get fired, they get fired, right? So he got fired. It's just the verbiage, right, of how they say it, right? They mutually agreed to say, no, they didn't. They fired his ass. They just want to make sure they save face. With the black coaches, they be like, yeah, buddy got Das Boot, you know what I'm saying? And that is what it is.
Make sure to turn it. We'll read an article. Moore said he developed a relationship with Chargers head coach Brandon Staley during their joint practices that they had in the offseason. He said they kept in touch throughout the year. And he said, quote, sometimes change is good. Okay, Kellen. And apparently Mike McCarthy is going to be calling the plays going forward. So, hey, man, Brandon Staley had to make a move to try to keep his job going into this next year because clearly something wasn't working out because he's more of a coach and they got to get more out of their offense. So, we'll see if Kellen Moore has a little bit more success with the Superchargers. And this one, fellas, this one kind of hurt me a little bit, but I understand because, I want to see this guy succeed. Lions running back coach and assistant head coach Deuce Staley is joining JB's former employer. They keep pounding Panthers under Frank Reich. It's not clear what his position is yet, but JB, do you think he's making that move to be the new OC under Frank Reich?
Yeah, I was just about to say, Deuce wouldn't have left from over there because, he studied under Andy, right? When Andy was still over in Philly, right? He wasn't. Was he a running back coach yet? Yeah, I think he did get one of the coaching position when Andy was still over there. But he's been coaching as an assistant coach for quite a while. So yeah, he didn't leave Detroit with the on the trending the uprise that they were trending on to go and be another running back coach, right? He went over there to be the OC. Again, he's done his homework. He's put in the grunt work. He's gonna be the OC over there.
What do you think about the moves?
I'm looking up right now. It looks like he got to the Eagles in 2011 as a special teams quality control coach. I don't know if that's when Andy Reid was there.
Yeah, I don't think Andy was
like yeah. And then he went to the running back coach in 2013, but after that, it doesn't really matter to me. Yeah, I think there was something that was said in that interview for him to move over there. This seems more of a horizontal move, but if there's promise at the end of the day and there's hope, then you would take that over the Detroit job anyway. So I definitely think that he is moving, if not to Carolina as the next OC. There's connections that's somehow in there that will get him somewhere else into a better position.
Yeah, and it looks like he was a running backs coach for the Eagles during Frank Reich's 2 years as the offensive coordinator there. I think that must have been when Dougie P was there. And hey, listen, Deuce Staley, we talk about this idea about the idea of not all coordinators are coaches. I definitely think Deuce Staley within the next probably 3 to 4 seasons is going to be a head coach somewhere. I think he's going to get to that point.
He's one of those guys.
He has that DNA to do it.
He's one of those guys, right? Me knowing Deuce personally, like he's one of those cats that, he demands respect. He knows the game of football very well, and I can definitely see him being a head man.
Well, shout out to Deuce. I mean, it's sad that you're leaving the Kitties and building something good, but if it's a better opportunity of that relationship with Frank Reich, hey, go make it happen. So there you go. And finally, gentlemen, this one flew out a little bit under the radar, but best believe, Dr. Bridges, I'm going to be contacting these folks on our behalf to see if we can bring our talents over there in the talking shit aspect. Arena football is coming back in 2024. The league will have 16 teams and a 10-game season. JB, now we have Canadian XFL, USFL, and now arena football is back. It disbanded in 2019, but now it is back. What do you think? What are your thoughts on arena football coming back, good sir?
I'm loving it. My nephew, Melvin Hollins, the second plays arena football for the what is the team? The Empire, right? The Albany Empire in New York, which they won the championship last year. And he got re-signed to him. Shout out to nephew. But I'm loving it, right? Right? I mean, it's transitional, right? All transitional. It's all a pipeline, and it all leads into the NFL at some point. If your talents, transfer over to the NFL, but it's just a great opportunity for young people, these young men that want to continue to play football.
Mitch, are you loving the Arena Football League back? And are you going to audition to be one of the mascots? Just be honest. You could do it.
Oh my God, I didn't even think of that as an opportunity. I'm putting in my application right now.
Mitch, so sorry to inform you, Mitch. You have to be kind of athletic to be a mascot. Thank you.
I can tell him better than everybody.
Hate to bust your bubble, buddy. You fuck around trying to do a backflip, brother.
I don't think I'll go for it this year.
Okay, yeah.
With the gym. I think like USFL, XFL, NFL, there's a lot there. Arena football is so much different to me. I loved arena football when they were the Spokane. I don't remember who they were anymore, but they were the only team in Spokane pretty much. And it was them and the Chiefs. So much fun to watch for like a middle tier town that needs some kind of entertainment. They had the net up. You could throw it off the net. They could catch it. It was so much fun to watch. This is great. I love the fact that it's coming back. I love arena football more than I love the USFL. USFL could disappear and I couldn't tell you what they were doing. Arena football, bring that shit back. Love it.
We love it. It's fast paced. It's crazy, right?
Yeah. Beautiful. Well, there it is. There's some review reaction news. You can tell us in the comments here after the live stream on the YouTube or on social media what you feel about what's been happening around the world of foosball. Let's not waste any time. We make our Super Bowl picks next week, so we won't be doing it this week. However, we do got to recap what happened here in the championship game, starting with the beatdown and the link. JB, your drafting team, they fly over the 31-7. But JB, do you feel that the Eagles' path through the NFC has harmed them because it necessarily hasn't been that difficult? And on the flip side, do you think Purdy has enough fever to stay in Frisco?
Purdy will never be the same football player he was. He literally has to have basically like Tommy John surgery, right? And we don't ever want to see anybody get hurt. But I just want to talk about the physicality of the Philadelphia Eagles, right? So George Skittles said something after they beat Who did they beat to go to the divisional? Who did they beat?
Cowboys.
Yeah, they beat the Cowboys to go to the divisional. So they said something. He said something to the presser after they beat the Cowboys, and he kind of alluded to Philly's physicality, and then he says, "Well, we'll see." And they gave a little weird smirk. I guess you saw, right? Them motherfuckers played a physical, nasty ass, so Philly brand of football, and they kind of let up on them. To be honest, it was like 2 series in the beginning of the game, probably in the first quarter, where Sirianni kind of like eased up on them because they are a heavy throwing team early in the game. But if he'd just mashed the pedal on the run from the jump after that first touchdown, they might have scored 70 points on them, right? It was, you could look at body language of the 49ers and see that the shit was just getting a little too real for him out there, right? Bosa bitch ass was trying to, after he got quote unquote kicked on the sideline, right? I mean, you couldn't see that shit coming, right? Then after that, he was limping every other fucking play, right? Brock Purdy got the shit knocked out of him and he hurt his elbow. That was unfortunate, right? But I want to comment on something else too about Kittle because you're a fucking bitch. I wouldn't expect nothing less from you. He said after the game, to lose the game because I didn't have a quarterback, yeah, that's fucked up. Or yeah, hell yeah, I feel like shit, or it feels shitty. So you just gonna discredit the brother, right? He ain't no quarterback. Why? Because he ain't Brock Purdy. You know what I'm saying? The NFL wanted so bad for Brock Purdy to go to the Super Bowl, right? Coming back to Arizona, Mr. Irrelevant. Oh, what a fucking story. Sorry. Eventually, reality sets in, Mitch, on pretty quote-unquote fever, right? Hey, everybody think they bad until they come across bad. That's exactly what you saw last Sunday when it comes to Philly and San Francisco.
Mitch, what was your assessment of the NFC Championship?
You heard my assessment of the NFC Championship. I went grocery shopping and decided not to watch the second half of that shit. No, Pretty Fever was fun. We all had fun. Or I had fun. They hated it. I didn't really care what you guys thought. I had fun with Pretty Fever. It'll never happen again, sadly. Garoppolo will be back. He'll go back to beating the 49ers again.
He'll be a great backup quarterback for a long time as me.
Yeah, I had fun with it. I hope there's another time I can have fun with it. Has the NFC path armed the first? It's always been a weird thing to me where they're, like, oh, if it's really hard for them, does that make it easier for them in the Super Bowl? I've always had the thing with Tom Brady where it's like, we talk about the AFC. The AFC was usually weaker when Tom Brady was there. You're more refreshed when it gets to the Super Bowl. If you're getting the crap kicked out of you and you're getting injured and all this stuff, isn't it better to have an easier path and then play the Super Bowl than to have the killer path?
Let me ask you a question though. How is the path to the Super Bowl easy for Philly?
No, I was just going.
No, but I'm just saying, like, but that's what I'm saying. Like, question-wise, like, how would it be hard for Philly when they played in the toughest division damn near in the NFC this year, right? The whole damn NFC almost could have got to the playoffs, right? So how is the road harmful for Philly? For the 49ers, maybe, because their shit was kind of like laid out and motherfuckers were stepping out the way for them to get where they wanted to go. Let's be fucking real. Again, Shanahan's offense and that connected with that defense, right? Great combination. And you say you playing lesser teams. Let's look at their schedule. They have to play the Cowboys, bro, to get where they want to be. Like, so many other teams could have beat the Cowboys too. So Philly is fine, right? Philly is fine. Their journey to the playoffs, their journey, who did they lose? 2 games this year? 3, right? Their journey was rough, right? It was turmoil. It was controversy when Hurts went out there. A lot of people thought they were going to go on a super slide when they lost them too. He came back in, got right back to business, right? Against a division opponent who is on fire at the time, right? Well, the Birds are fine.
All right, well, so three losses. There you go. And on the flip side, Mitch, the Chiefs edged the Bengals out 23-20. There was the phantom third down. There was Osai hitting Mahomes out of bounds, all that shit. But with what Mahomes is dealing with and how he has performed, do you feel like a game like this does this prove that Mahomes is the undisputed best QB in the league, Mitch? What do you think about that?
more than anything, it proves how much you hate me deep down inside, Benny. You know I hate this conversation more than anything. We're picking hairs at the end of the freaking game. Did Mahomes do anything impressive? Yes, that was impressive as hell. Undisputed? Anyone can dispute anything. Some Cowboys fan can dispute that Dak Prescott's better. Some
they'll find a way.
Trust me, they'll find a way.
Yeah, like every team person that has a decent quarterback thinks their quarterback's the greatest of all time until they lose. And once they lose, they're the shittiest quarterback of all time and we need to trade them. This is something we've dealt with forever. Can I say he's undisputed? No. Did what Mahomes do impress the shit out of me off of his injured leg? Yes.
Okay. What do you think?
No. This kid is good, we know that. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, he wasn't the same Patrick Mahomes this year that we saw in years past. Right? I don't really give a damn what his stats say. He just wasn't, right? He did some wild shit, but he wowed us in years past. This year he was just he had some good ad-libs. He was young Jesus, right? You know what I'm saying? He had some really good ad-libs. Yeah. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, he did that, right? But at the same time with Joe Grimes, I feel like if Cincinnati would have blitzed him more up the middle, we'd have saw what the fuck that ankle could and couldn't do. So, again, it comes back down to physicality, right? He's not undisputed the best, right? Because all those quarterbacks that are top tier had great moments, right? Let's just be honest. Stat-wise, I'm pretty sure Patrick Mahomes was on top of a lot of that because they throw the ball more than any damn team in the fucking league, right? So, of course, he's going to have great stats. But undisputed, nah. You know what I'm saying? He played well. He gutted it out. But how many quarterbacks have gutted it out on injury? Like, he ain't doing shit anybody else fucking did.
Mm-hmm. By the way, I've been watching the comments. I've been waiting for Quincy to go crazy on this topic. But anything. Yet I am surprised we are cutting a promo on this guy, Patty Mahomes, of the Chiefs, and he has not chimed in once. I'm still waiting to see a comment pop up from Quincy.
The truth is like Castor, right? You might not like it. But that shit gonna make you feel better, right?
No way. Oh, man. Well, maybe Mitch needs something to feel better. He picked the money line for the Niners last week, but that shit did not go his way. 2-1 for the playoffs. So we'll see how you do when we make our Super Bowl picks next week. Now, before we get on out of here, we've been looking forward. We've been looking forward to this segment coming up. Oh man, this is going to be a delight. Mitch has compiled the Pro Bowl is this week. So what Mitchell has done is he compiled some of his favorites who might have been not so good in the 2022 season at different positions and position groups, including quarterback and head coach. And without further ado, it is our pleasure to roll out the very first edition. It is Money Making Mitch's 2022 All Suck Team. Look at that graphic production value, baby. That's right.
Mitch.
All
fucker
Suck
right in the pussy.
For
That's fucker right in the pussy, Mitch.
That's right. Jesus Christ. Oh, my God. All right, Mitch, starting with your first unit. He's crying, laughing from that graphic. Oh, my God. Starting with your first unit, Mitch, it is the all-suck offensive line. It's the Bengals for the AFC and the Rams for the NFC. Why were they your selections, good sir?
I think the Bengals... I think the Bengals proved it last week when they had to use 2 tight ends on almost every play just to go and make sure that they had an offensive line. The NFL is a numbers game. If you have to use 7 offensive line members, that's less you can use at throwing the ball. That's it. Rams also typically have a good running game. They had the 4th worst before contact to the running back, and they were constantly getting sacked all year long. That offensive line was also trash. So those are the reasons. Those are my 2.
Okay. JB, your thoughts on Mitch's selection?
I'm loving it, man. I mean, when offensive lines can't hide, right? And that's the problem. So, no, I feel like that's good stuff. You know what I'm saying? The Bengals offensive line, you know what I'm saying, has had horrible times. I mean, they had a great game, you know what I'm saying, against the team they played to get to the AFC Championship, and they handled them pretty well. And then this game, it was like, what? And the Rams are just so, yeah.
All right, Mitch, let's take it to the D-line. You selected your Titans. Oh, I love it. And the Vikings of the NFC.
Titans had, I believe, the least amount of sacks in the entire NFL, the least amount of quarterback pressures, and a lot of rushing yards given up. They were bad on both passing and rushing. Vikings, they gave up 404 yards per game, and their line was the weaker of the it was weaker than the cornerback and weaker of their middle linebackers and all the other things there. So that's why I decided to give that one to the Vikings.
Wow.
The Vikings front seven in itself is just getting old, man. But yeah, their D line wasn't very impressive, and the Titans. I didn't really watch the Titans play that much, but for Mitch's stats, hey, yeah, you're right.
All right, there it is. Let's take it to special teams. The units of the Pats, dude, and my kitties for the NFC, Mitch. Oh, my God.
So for the Pats, they had the worst net punt rate at like 34 yards per punt, which is freaking garbage. And this is a team that prides itself on special teams.
It's high school shit.
That is high school shit. And
yeah, real rap. That's high school shit.
And the Lions, I'm trying to remember what stats I was looking at when I came up with the Lions one, but they really weren't that great. They had some of the least amount of field goal hits, and they had the most yards given up at the end of the day.
All right, there it is. Let's take it to the defensive backs. It's the Superchargers and my kitties once again with the DBs. Oh, my God.
I don't know if I have to explain this. I feel like the Lions allowed 100 yards per game or 100 points per game, and I feel like the Chargers are always allowing 40 points a game per year. I don't know if this is even do I have to spend time on this one?
The Chargers, you know what I'm saying, paid Derwin James all that goddamn money. Like, I mean, you know, I ain't hating. And y'all people say what the fuck they want to say. Y'all know I spit the real. If you've been listening to this podcast for 6 years, you know I tell shit like it is. The motherfucker wasn't worth the money they gave him. I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? He just wasn't that guy. And, of course, now he makes it hard for them to bring in other players, you know what I'm saying? Because, as Mitch stated, you guys are giving up fucking 30, 35 points a game, and that shit's in the air. So,
and listen, you don't have to explain the kiddies. They ended up firing their DB coach, and apparently it was, it really helped them because they started going on that run and really improving. Now they definitely are probably one of the worst units in the NFC, particularly, and they are for sure one of the worst unit in the NFC for the first half of the season. So, hey man, you got no qualms with me on that one. All right, let's take it to the other side. The receivers, it's the Broncos and the Packers in the NFC.
So for Denver, I'm mainly going off expectations. Like for the last 3 years, we've been waiting for these breakout wide receivers. We've been waiting out for all that. They're not breakout wide receivers anymore at this point. Our expectations have them high. They're not what they are. And
we have high hopes.
And for the Packers, they had the highest drop rate of any team. So I feel like your job
ever.
JB, what you think about his selections?
I agree. Cold facts wholeheartedly. I agree, man. The Packers, it was almost unbearable to watch in the beginning of the season, probably the first 7-8 games of the season. And of course, they started to kind of get together and make a run late. Denver, this is like what? But I kind of chalked that up to, this season would have been a lot better, you know what I'm saying, if their head coach wouldn't have been there, because we saw what happened when he got fired. Russ started talking that bitch all over the place. And so I mean, I'm sure we're going to see some breakout ability this year and next year because Sean Payton's going to be there in that offensive scheme.
Right, there you go. All right, taking to the kickers, Cade York, and oh my God, an obvious one. God bless this guy, Bobby Maher from the Cowboys. Oh my God, bitch.
So the worst field goal percentage kicking in the league was Will Lutz. But Bobby Mayer is way funnier because everyone remembers his 4 kicks in the playoffs that he missed back to back. For Cade York, I believe he only hit 75% of his field goals, which in 1950 is impressive. Today, no. Today,
Oh, God.
You should know, Miss. That's back when you were 22 years old.
Oh, my God. Jesus H. All right, let's keep this thing moving. Let's go to the tight ends. You said Jonnu Smith from the Pats and Gerald Everett from the Chargers. I mean, I sort of get it, but it's explain this one.
He put names on that shit. God, that's personal.
Right, he really did.
So Jonnu Smith with the Patriots, I believe they gave him like $1 gajillion or something like that. And at the end of the day, he's a blocking tight end, but they can't use him for what they want him to. And he's not catching anything to go and get him those third down conversions like you need a tight end to. So that's my thing with him. He's way overpaid. Gerald Everett, your nickname to me is Mount Everett. You should be able to jump up better. You should be able to jump up, get those jump balls better than you do, and yet you can't do it. You're taller than everyone on the field. Act like it.
I agree. General Everett, you know what I'm saying? Gerald Everett, you got to be like a midget stripper and jump up and get those balls. All right, you know what I'm saying? It's just kind of
Oh my God! All right, hallelujah! All right. All Suck running backs: Clyde Edwards-Helaire from the Chiefs and playoff Leonard. Ooh, Mitch.
Playoff Lenny?
Lenny Fenney over there. He went back to old Lenny Fenney, like the not very efficient Jacksonville Jaguars running back, getting like 3.4, 3.5. He was one of the more inefficient actual starters, and he was a big problem for the Bucs. Clyde isn't 100% his fault. I just kind of needed a running back to blame here. The Chiefs do not allow him to be efficient, in my opinion. They don't give him enough touches. But at the same time, Fat Lenny.
He has gotten a little chunky, I ain't gonna lie.
But at the same time, he should be more efficient on a team that passes so much. You should be able to do more when no one expects you to run.
True. There it is. All right. How about the quarterbacks? Oh my God. It's like the Spider-Man meme. It's Russell Wilson from the Broncos and K1 Kyler Murray from the Cardinals.
The only difference is Kyler is pointing up at Russell, right?
So I'm not even going to explain the Russell Wilson thing with the Broncos. This should have been like the joke at the beginning that everyone guessed. Kyler Murray's just purely based off expectations. Do I think he was the second worst quarterback in the NFL? No, but we had higher expectations in him. He should have been better. He's paid to be better.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm not even going to comment. All right.
And finally, JV, you're going to appreciate this. The head coaches of your All Suck 2022 teams, it's Nathaniel Hackett of the Broncos and Thailand Cliff Kingsbury from the Cardinals, Mitch.
It goes along with Russell Wilson and Kyler Murray. If your head coach sucks, your quarterback sucks. If your quarterback sucks, your head coach sucks. I don't know which one to blame, so I'm blaming them both, so I'm safe.
Hey.
Oh, my God.
No comment.
Oh, my God. I love it. Well, that's it. That is Mitch's. That is Mitch All Suck 2022 team, and that's it. Dr. Bridges, please take us home with a little bit of We Need Us, good sir. What you got for the people?
Welcome to Black History Month, all right? The month that the man has given my people, you know what I'm saying, to celebrate accomplishments that we have provided all year for this great US of A. So, how about this, cops around America? How about you don't kill, brutalize, or beat any of my people this month, right? That would be great. You know what I'm saying? If we can celebrate
this month.
Just this month. I mean, shit, you only give us 1 month. So, 1 month, you know what I'm saying? We're going to allow y'all 1 month to not fuck up shit, right? Other than that, just a couple of high points. NFL, how about we start to train these referees a little fucking better? Outside of that, we need us. You guys know what it means. You know what I'm saying? Again, I say it all the time. We are stronger here than we are here. It is what it is, point blank, period. And treat people as you would have people treat your children. Point blank, period. You're watching JB and Ben Review, episode 248. Life is great. You better believe it, man. At JB and Benny Blue, all social media platforms. Mitch has a IG, but he don't use it. It's got like ponies and shit on it, and you don't want to see that shit. Like, I'm just saying, let's go freak you the fuck out. So don't even worry about it, right? Our personal IGs at 73 King JB 73, and of course at Benny Blue Eyes. Like it's always been, hit us up. We get back with you. Follow our podcast out here in the desert, live streaming in Phoenix, casualsports.com. Shout out to the whole crew. Sean, we still ain't heard from you, brother. We love you. I'm going to have to do some digging, Benny. I'm going to have to do some digging. I'm going to have to knock on his door and see what's going on. All right. Mm-hmm. You still want to hear this melodious voice, these great voices, and that really weird voice that Mitch has. All right. He's like Patrick Mahomes and some muscle-bound chick. He's like Patrick Mahomes and some muscle-bound testosterone taking chick together.
He's on one tonight, reviewers.
But he's in there. God. All right. preowned.com/JB and Benny Blue for $1 damn. $1 damn. I know you got it, man. I ain't gonna talk about what y'all do with that dollar. Sponsorship, interviews, new music, hate mail, JB and Benny Blue review at gmail.com. Get with us, man. we really pride ourselves on people tapping in with us via email. All right, leaving messages. Benny, we got a phone number. Shoot that phone number out there, Benny.
818-850-2804. That is the Savage Hotline.
And we gotta have more people hit us up. Look,
with us.
We gotta have more people than Big Pretty and Dre hit us up on the hotline. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, holler at your folks, man.
Yes, please.
Super Bowl week is coming up, right? We're gonna get with Earl and Ed. You know what I'm saying? Of course, Benny, you might have to be on call, be on alert. We might have to fly you out here, emergency flight. Mitch, we might have to get you on a donkey or something and get you down here to the valley. All right, listen.
Oh my God.
We're trying to get this thing on location for the Super Bowl. JV and Benny Blue, people love and deserve to fucking see it out here in the valley. Keep your eyes peeled, man.
Yes, indeed. Episode 248. Enjoy a week without football. I can't believe it. We'll be back next week for Super Bowl talk. Maybe I can't.
Benny, check this out, though. Benny and Mitch, check this out. They're going back to the old school. They're doing the skills challenge again. I'm kind of excited to see that. I ain't gonna lie.
They are. Yeah, it's going to be fun to watch. So
Pro
tap
Bowl,
with that. Tap
week.
with us. Pro Bowl. We love you. This has been the review. Until next week, we are out, baby. Peace.